a little too much of a VI fan to say that's a general rule, but I can see what you're getting at.
A VI?
Yeah, the VI technical.
VI, the technical program.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like VI as opposed to Emacs VI.
Emacs. That one is one that is way too complicated. It might be somewhat an idea of what we're talking about here, because
I mean, I don't mean to start an Emacs or VI war. I personally prefer VI.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to
really get
into one just because you're talking about.
Oh, no, don't worry. I'm sure everybody watching this video will start one for us. It's like it'll be in the comments below this video. It's like we don't have to. They'll go at each other. It's like
right.
Emacs shortcuts make no sense.
What do you prefer?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't really have a preference on that.
Have you used both?
Yeah, honestly, I don't really like either that much.
Are you one of the nano users?
Not really.
Alright, you just want to stay out of the war.
Well, I don't care enough to really have a vote one way or the other, is the thing. So, it's...
You're in terminal. You need to edit a text file. What program do you use? You know, you got to do it quick. First thing that comes to mind. What do you use?
Usually console. I mean Conquer.
Awesome. I don't know what that is.
If I need to just edit a file, I use
the terminal.
Yeah.
Just does the terminal, does like echo something and then write it to the file.
Yeah, it's like if I'm in terminal and I'm doing that, I have no reason to go out. It's like I'm there. Why make life complicated? Again, this is not the average end user solution. It's just if I'm there and I'm at that, that's what I'm gonna do. It's like
you're gonna echo to a file.
No. If I'm just doing text edit, if I'm just editing text files, usually I'm just using something like KWrite anyways. So it's like I don't make a mountain out of a molehill.
So you just use GUI. All right.
Yeah.
It's
like I said. It's like I prefer not to make mountains out of molehills. I'm in terminal when I'm doing terminal stuff. It's like. And then I'm aware I could run everything. I could run the whole frickin' everything using terminal. Not my preference.
When I ask you the question, what do you use to edit a text file in terminal? You should say start X.
Echo thing to type .. text file.
Well, that's creating a text file. You can't you can't edit a text file by writing an echo to a text file.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. You can, but you're making a mountain out of a molehill. It's like
I'm sure somebody in the comment section is going to tell me how to do it. So don't worry about it.
Well, no, but see, this is very much in line with what we were talking about when we started this whole conversation. It takes you longer to type all those commands than it does to just open the file with something like KWrite and go save, close. It's like, it actually takes more effort to do it the way you two want to than to just...
I'm sure that people are going to disagree with you with the strongest arguments.
Oh, I'm absolutely positive.
They have aliases to the most advanced command, and they can type it in 3 seconds, and they'll be totally done with whatever they type. So
good for them. Heaven help them if they make a typo. And here's my question on that. What if they make a spelling or grammatical error? How do they catch that there?
Well,
yeah, I know, but in the GUI... in the GUI, you know, I have all these lovely little lines there that tell me, oh, that's misspelled. Oh, I don't know what that is. Oh, that's odd. Now, I mean, there's extra ones when I'm doing that code, but I'm like, it's...
VI works in the console. I'm sure that it has a spell check and grammar checker.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that integrated spell check.
Okay. Yet another benefit of yet another benefit of open source over proprietary lock-in, because I'm very certain that that will not work on a Mac.
VI?
Well, you can use VI on a Mac.
Will the spell check integrate though?
Probably.
I do know they have VI on a Mac, so.
That is an interesting question, actually, for the people watching this. Does the spell check integrate into that in OS X's terminal like it will in Linux's? That's an interesting question. I have no idea on that, to be quite honest.
Mine into Windows terminal, because I know you could run VI on Windows.
That's another question, actually. I've never done that. That's like, because you spend so little time in terminal and Windows.
I know text highlighting works. I don't know if the error highlight.
Yeah.
I'll have to try.
We have to try this now. It's like, I'm curious now. I mean, not right now, but I'm curious now. We have to try this on Windows and an OS X box. It's like, we have to try this now. It's like, anyways, there's no good way to transition off of this, but we'll talk about this for the next hour if we don't. It's
okay, we can get into what about, let's get into GNOME 3 and how it's getting delayed. We're getting into, like, you know, VI versus Emacs, KDE versus GNOME.
That's actually a topic for tomorrow for Linux. That is a topic for Linux. For right now, let's transition into something we talked about this weekend, which is, and this is kind of a good news, bad news thing. It's the I'm getting on the Trojan here. There's a Java-based Trojan in the wild for OS X. Yeah, it's in the wild. There's websites you'll go to where if you do what you shouldn't do and don't exercise Web 101, you will have a Trojan on your system that will take advantage of stuff. There's a bit of good news, bad news on this. The good news is everyone who rushed out and bought Tiger and began locking themselves into the Apple must own all gateways of software to your computer is immune to this, because Apple is beginning the process of removing Java. In Lion, not Tiger, Lion. Let's remember our Apocalypse name. It's like, and honestly, I do think this is the beginning of just the death of Java in general, because it's Apple's just fired the first volley here. I think we should expect to see a similar move in the next version of Windows. I really do think at some point in the next few years here, Linux is also going to try and figure out a way. It's like because of how Oracle's treating the Java patent and stuff, it's like the general mentality is we must get off of Java, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
Kind of is, because it's going to make a lot of the skills that current computer science major users are learning useless.
Tell me.
What they teach in computer science.
Yeah,
right
I know that, but I've said this more than once that it's deplorable the way all these computer courses, whether it's a web scripting course or a computer science course or it's like they're teaching old skills that are old when the class is being taught, which means 4 years from now when these kids graduate. How behind, James? Are you doing any computer science courses right now, or?
Yeah, I did. I took Python like a year ago, and I took beginner Java the year before that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so, but as far as old, I mean, Java's still pretty relevant today.
Oh, I think it's still relevant today, and I mean,
It's just not gonna be for much longer.
Well, it's like, honestly, I wouldn't say that, because some of the skill sets are transferable. I mean, Java skill sets.
A lot of the skill sets.
I'm not a dedicated programmer, but honestly, if you've learned a programming language, like when I initially went to go learn JavaScript and PHP and ASP.NET and all those things, the fact that I knew HTML backwards and forwards, the same thing we learned in HTML5, is like, those skill sets were 100% transferable. I just had to learn the grammar and syntax of the new language, but my skills were transferable. I would assume many of the Java skill sets are probably very transferable to .NET and other things. You just have to learn the new syntax and grammar. I mean, it's not 100%, but it should be transferable.
And plus as well. Java sets are very transferable pretty much everywhere. I honestly recommend Java for many reasons to pretty much anyone learning computer programming and then switching to a different language after if they want. But Java is really nice to learn in because there is so much tutorials out there. It is so prevalent. There's so much help out there. You could for GUI with Java, you could get an introduction to that. You could get an introduction to web programming with Java because you could make an applet even though they aren't really used anymore. But you could still do that. You could get an introduction to so many things with Java, and the fact that as a computer student, you're running your computer on the school's computer, then at home, and that's nice with Java because Java will come installed on these computers and you can run them.